Of course, it is yet another Thursday evening across the globe, man. My name is JP Shimon, and this is, I know it's been a little 2 week or so, but another episode of our live chat series here on the Situation Updates platform. Let me thank you guys so very much for joining. And of course, with me for this episode, man, is the beautiful Ralycia Andrews, who is joining us all the way out of Barbados, right?
Yes, Barbados.
Right. So I'm seeing like our technology is going to be messing with us for a bit tonight. I'm going to ask you guys to bear with us. You know how it is. So live on technology, right? Ralycia, let me say welcome and thank you so very much for agreeing to chat with us for this episode.
Thank you for the
Let's jump right in,
opportunity.
sister. So for the folks who do not quite know you, could you let them know what is it exactly that this woman from Baga is doing in Barbados?
My name is Ralycia Andrews, and as you know, most of my friends call me Ray. I'm in Barbados because I'm currently studying at the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus. I'm pursuing my undergraduate in biology with a minor in cultural studies.
Okay, I think we lost you for a little bit there after you're pursuing. Could you just say that bit again, please?
Oh, I'm pursuing my undergraduate in biology with a minor in cultural studies.
In cultural studies. Okay, cool,
Yes.
cool. Because that explains, why is it that a young scientist, basically to me, has all this interest, all this verve, as it is, as it relates to the cultural arts, to our heritage here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yes.
Uh, before we talk a little bit about your cultural activism and so on, take us back for a bit. When I first met you, when I first heard of Ralycia Andrews, it was because of a prize that you just won. Could you again, just give us a quick update as to what that prize was, what was it that led you to that point, and how things have been for you since?
So, when you first met me, I had just received an award. I had entered a competition by the Global Youth Advancement Network at the Michigan State University for the Caribbean and Latin America. And I had written an essay called Walami Serun, which means our sad experience in Garifuna, just detailing how the Garifuna people are being treated in our country, our historical past, what is happening with the education system both in St. Vincent and Belize, and their human rights violations that they're facing to this day, both in St. Vincent and in Belize and the regions in America and Europe and so on. Currently, I have continued working with Michigan State University. I participated in their Ubuntu Student Dialogues that's this summer in 2021, which is, and if I remember correctly, it is Andrew W. Mellon Foundation partnership founded between Michigan State University, which is the African Studies Center, and the Stellenbosch University Museum. I was actually the only person from the Caribbean region present at those student dialogues, and I have since went on to share the dialogues with my campus community because I'm currently the student representative for the Cultural Studies Department here at the University of the West Indies. Currently, I am a delegate of the Ubuntu Leaders Academy at the United Nations, and I was told that I'm the first Vincentian to apply, which was very shocking and very enlightening. And we started training in September, and we're ending on December 19th. So it's been a busy time for me between that and my studies. I'm also working with the Garifuna Nation Belize and the Heritage Education Network Belize. And the Garifuna Nation, we actually recently launched an online university called the Garifuna University Without Walls, which provides free education at this point on Garifuna people, their language, drumming, everything from Garifuna marine biology on an online format.
Okay, so the audio was a bit messy for a while there, right? So pardon me if I'm asking stuff that you would have said,
No
in,
problem.
in your introductory speech right there. Okay, so after the award, this led you to this new development with the UN. Is this what you basically said in summary?
The award led me to the Ubuntu Student Dialogues at Michigan State
Mhm.
University, who were part of the reason why I got the award in the first place. And the Ubuntu Student Dialogues led me to the Ubuntu Leaders Academy for the UN.
Okay, good. So let's take it back to the Ubuntu student dialogues. What exactly, is this? I mean, for us at home, these are truly foreign things that we're hearing about. So what exactly is this experience? What's involved? What did you take away from those dialogues?
It is basically a multicultural dialogue with students from the United States, Europe, parts and regions of Africa, and we got to converse and share ideas about tackling socio-political and economic issues across the globe, from feminism to racism to Eurocentric types of education and creating education systems for people of indigenous descent or African descent within the Caribbean region, outside of the Caribbean region. My main takeaway from these dialogues was basically the culture, realizing that there are so many similarities between not just myself, but other individuals within the Caribbean and these students that I had the honor of speaking to.
Awesome, awesome. And then obviously it led to this leadership program now that you're in. Uh,
Yes, it has.
Walk us through that process, please.
Initially, when I was contacted for the Ubuntu Student Dialogues, I was contacted by a Vincentian who actually is a member of faculty at the university. Her name is, sorry, I just all right, a Vincentian at the university who contacted me and said, "Oh, we're looking for students from the Caribbean region to participate in the student dialogues at MSU."
Mhm.
And she saw the publication that you posted, and she said, "I think that you'd be a very good candidate." And this was all through networking through Facebook. And the deadline had already passed, and she said, "I think you should still apply. They're extending the deadline so that more people can participate." And then from those student dialogues at MSU, I moved on to applying for the UN a Leaders Academy, the Ubuntu Leaders Academy, which I actually found through I have a lot of youth opportunity apps on my phone, so there's a lot of opportunities that come through there. But I found this through networking with those very same individuals from the Ubuntu Student Dialogues at MSU in a WhatsApp group chat, and that just blossomed from there.
What are you able to achieve as far as your aspirations? I know it had to taken something to motivate you to go forward from the dialogues into the leadership program. But
Mm.
what were you able to achieve having gone through that experience? I know you say there's still some time to wrap up training and so on, but it's pretty much nearing the end. So forgive my use of the particular tense, but what were you able to achieve?
Well, the Leaders Academy is basically a non-formal education program that uses the philosophies of world leaders like Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King to enforce what they call five pillars of leadership, which is empathy, resilience, service, self-confidence, and self-knowledge. And this has really given me a new perspective to understand and model activities and initiatives to small island developing states like my own to understand how the education system works, to understand how to connect with other individuals. And this has actually assisted me because, as I said, I'm volunteering with the Garifuna Nation in Belize, and we launched an online university, and that was not easy for them. And I was brought onto the education committee. So this has really assisted me in conversing with like minded individuals, creating action plans, finding different ways of outreach for the people, and basically promoting those action plans and finding ways that people would be interested in learning about the topics that we have to offer.
Yeah, I want to take a quick break at this point. We got to send some love to our corporate partners who've been making these situation updates possible in a very real sense. But don't go anywhere. We'll come back with some more questions. When we come back, I particularly want to turn your mind towards cultural activism. I don't think I've ever heard those two words brought together before we started talking about this. So when we come back, I'd like you to walk us through your understanding and appreciation of the term and exactly what it means. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. In fact, call somebody up, let them know we're coming back with more live chat.
Diamond Grocery Inc., located at Ralycia and Diamond, are your friendly neighborhood groceries for one-stop shopping. We carry a wide range of food items such as meats, toiletries, personal care, and even products for your vehicle. And there is so much more that is certain to make the most picky shopper happy. Our bakery supplies a variety of delicious and hot breads and pastries. We provide spacious parking at our two locations to ensure a pleasant shopping experience. Our staff is courteous, friendly, and ready to serve you. Come to Diamond Grocery Inc., Ralycia and Diamond for excellent shopping with ambience designed for your satisfaction.
Hey, you know hear about the Joke and Festival trailer out by this old gas station? Yes, the same one on the way out to Indian Bella, man. They always have a whole set of pizzas every day, any day, including ackee and saltfish, vegetarian, and the world famous spicy jerk pizzas. But hey, that's not all, you know. They also offer jerk fish, escovitch fish, jerk chicken, and jerk pork. And as always, they serve it with real Jamaican festival. What you wait for? Call them now, no man. 784-495-4267. How you mean? Man, them always deliver anywhere between Kingston and Prospect. The Jerk and Festival trailer. An authentic yardie experience. Here I come.
And as always, it is a pleasure, a privilege to have you. I know there's any cocktail still in the background. Hey guys, of course we are live chatting with Miss Ralycia Andrews, who's at this moment in beautiful, beautiful Barbados, as she is a student over there at Cave Hill, right?
Yes, I am.
How far along in the program are you there at Cave Hill? I know you're studying some science and culture, but how far along is your program now?
I am in my second year officially.
I'm so sorry, your audio just warps there for a bit. Say it again, please.
I'm in my second year officially.
Final year. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Second.
So before we took the break, I had intimated that we'd like to have a chat now as it relates to your thoughts and appreciation on and for cultural activism. Could you please, for our audience, break that whole concept down and walk us through your appreciation of and for it, please?
My appreciation for cultural activism really stemmed from recognizing that cultural sustainability is really and truly linked to all of the sustainable development goals that were created by the United Nations. It really has a lot to do with the value that we place on our resources, how we respect our environment, the value that we place on each other, and understanding each other as individuals, the reverence we have to our historical past. And it's very current now, seeing as Baliso is currently being listed for sale. There's our country was recently commended for their placement on the board, the UNESCO's board for heritage, which I find very commendable in that respect, and I'm hoping that more would be done in that aspect of cultural sustainability. My passion for cultural activism stemmed from the age of 11, when I was not aware of my culture, because it's not being taught in the schools on the mainland, the music, the culture, the heritage. So it took a summer program that came to St. Vincent for me to learn about my culture, and I find it's something valuable to be an activist for, so that more individuals and more young people would achieve a sense of cultural awareness and reverence to their cultural history and their ancestors as as I become an activist for cultural sustainability.
I want to thank you for. Let me know that you're hearing me, please.
I'm hearing you, yes.
Are you hearing me? Sorry.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes. Okay, good. So I'm using multiple devices because again, with these technological advances, one or both tend to fail time to time, and that just happened, right? Okay, so I think I'm back with the one that I want to be on. Now, so it's intriguing to hear you mention all that you did there. Palace of Facile. Um, I'm sorry, you with me? You're frozen on my end.
I'm hearing you.
Good. The lack of yes, sorry. The lack of our culture, our heritage being taught in our schools, and you specified on the mainland. I don't know if it's being taught anywhere else for that matter. Um, uh, uh, Given your recent exposure to university and such, what do you think could be done now to sort of spur our people on, you know, building that sort of awareness that ought to come, so that some level of activism could be agitated against things like the sale of Balisol?
Mhm. One of the things that can be done, there is a sustainable development plan in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And one of the things specifically that our country has listed is an increased appreciation and awareness of culture. So the sale of Baliso, preventing the sale of Baliso by partnering with other Garifuna institutions across the globe, because they're also advocating for the same thing, would provide a joint effort in advocating for reparations and for Baliso to be seen as an object of reparation and return it back to our people. Another thing that can be used is the education revolution. As I said, our culture isn't being taught in schools. Why are we still being taught Eurocentric concepts of history, about Christopher Columbus sailing the ocean blue in 1492, but we don't know anything about our Garifuna culture? And many children, when they're exposed to the Garifuna culture, they have a sense of awe and wonderment, but at the same time, they're very scared because it's something that is very foreign to them. So, including our Garifuna culture, our history, our dance, something as simple as drumming. And Zimbu, in particular, he did drumming on his own and he did it as a part of tourism. But that aspect can also be filtered into our schools in the performing arts industry as well. It doesn't just have to be something enclosed into piecemeal. In our schools, we can begin to have exchange or pen pal programs with individuals from the regions of Belize and Guatemala and Honduras. We bring members from Cuba all the time to come in and doctors from Cuba. So it would be a similar program if we bring in members from Belize and those Garifuna regions to teach, whether it be drumming or music or the dances within our school systems.
Uh, Sister.
Can you repeat,
Okay,
please?
I'm trying to. I'm saying you made some very valid points. It's one of my pet peeves. And I know some people might say it's me trying to it's me literally trying to pass blame. But I remember in high school I walked away from the history classes because I felt I was not being taught my history. You know, lo and behold, I couldn't pursue a law class at college because I didn't really have an O-level CXC pass. I mean, things that I didn't know I needed at that particular time. Why do you think all that you have said, and you've laid it out so beautiful, so simply, you know, setting up pen pal exchanges between our students, you know, simply teaching things like the genocide of our Garifuna elders, ancestors, you know, in the lower classes in our school system. These things, why do you think these things have gone awry? Why is it that we are not, you know, teaching our young these things?
I truly think that it is resultant of the colonial trauma because back during the time of colonialism, the Garifuna people, our Garifuna ancestors were beaten for speaking the Garifuna language, for practicing their cultural practices, for doing the dances, for singing the songs. They experienced so much trauma from those practices that I feel like it has been instilled in our DNA. So to this day, there's still an aspect of fear associated with the Garifuna culture. There's still an aspect of people being wary about why they should accept this culture when there's such a large amount of trauma associated with it. There's such a large amount of human rights violations to this day still being committed against Garifuna people in Belize, in St. Bite in particular, and Honduras and Nicaragua, even in the States. And it's not just racism, it's beyond racism. It's an aspect of white trying to wipe out an entire culture.
How do you see us, and again, I guess it'll play into your cultural activism, but how do you see us confronting, for want of a better term, battling, you know, bringing this particular mentality into some form of subjugation, you know, taking control of it so that we can actually share our stories with pride, even?
Well, for one, naturally as humans, we fear things that we do not understand or things that we're unaware of. And that's currently what's happening with the mentality of our people. Many of them are afraid of the Garifuna culture because they haven't been made aware of it. So, first and foremost, I would have to say an increased awareness. We have to begin to speak about the Garifuna culture outside of National Heroes Day and outside of emancipation and recognize that Joseph Chatouillet really did save our people. It's not just something to be celebrated once a year. It's not just something to be advertised during tourism. It's not just something you place on a brochure in the airport. It's something that is the foundation of our DNA and the foundation of our people. And increasing that awareness would allow us to tackle the issues that we now face today.
Okay, are we back? I think we're back.
Yes.
Yeah. Jonah Dowdy is asking, can you insult a small child 11 times? I would love some more context on that there, please, Jonah. Yeah. I did you say anything in that train of thought,
No, I
Miss
don't think
Andrews?
so. No, I did not.
Right, right, right. All right. Let's take a quick other break and come right back. With some more questions. Of course, reminding our audience that you can feel free to chime in with your questions at any time. We'll pop those up on screen and share them. Of course, Ms. Andrews, to the best of your ability, you'd respond, right?
Of course.
We'll be back.
Diamond Grocery Inc., located at Ralycia and Diamond, are your friendly neighborhood groceries for one-stop shopping. We carry a wide range of food items such as meats, toiletries, personal care, and even products for your vehicle. And there is so much more that is certain to make the most picky shopper happy. Our bakery supplies a variety of delicious and hot breads and pastries. We provide spacious parking at our 2 locations to ensure a pleasant shopping experience. Our staff is courteous, friendly, and ready to serve you. Come to Diamond Grocery Inc., Ralycia and Diamond for excellent shopping with ambience designed for your satisfaction.
Hey, you know hear about the Joke and Festival trailer out by the Soul gas station? Yes, the same one on the way out to Indian Beta, man. They always have a whole set of pizzas every day, any day, including ackee and saltfish, vegetarian, and the world famous spicy jerk pizzas. But hey, that's not all, you know. They also offer jerk fish, escovitch fish, jerk chicken, and jerk pork. And as always, they serve it with real Jamaican festival. What you wait for? Call them now, no man. 784-495-4267. How you mean? Man, them always deliver anywhere between Kingston and Prospect. The Jerk and Festival trailer. An authentic yardie experience. Here I come.
I have to tell you guys, I've had that jerk fish. You don't want to miss it. Look, Ralycia, you might actually You might actually want to have them guys FedEx some of that jerk fish over to you, right? Or come over for a one-day vacation or something. Uh, so you know, during the break, I was reflecting a little bit. Um, uh, uh, Based on the training that you're currently undergoing, what are some of the calls to action? Have you so far been able to identify? I mean, I know you've laid out for us some of the things that we can do now through our school system, but is there anything that you've identified based on the training you're undergoing, the leadership training you're undergoing, you know, that could help us maybe from an individual or even community-based end of things?
Well, one of the important things that the training has reinforced for me is the aspect of servant leadership, which is being able to lead or advocate for something with selflessness, recognizing that this isn't just for you, but for future generations to come. And tying that in with the community based aspect, I feel like that's what a lot of Vincentians have to recognize and have to appreciate, that us advocating for our culture and fighting in particular for what is current now Baliso would be something, some sort of servant leadership. It would be not just advocating for yourself, but advocating for future generations to come. You, I'm sure, would want your children or your children's children to know of the history of your culture and your communities. And we have to be there as servant leaders to bring forth that awareness within ourselves and then bring forth that awareness within our communities to better advocate for the plans that we have for the future.
Strangest feelings I'm feeling. My main camera has decided to go again. I don't know if you're aware, but I've seen lately Prime Minister have been has basically asked Vincentians at home to take care with their spending power, or you know, with their expendable budgets over this particular season. And it brings to mind, given, I'm sorry. Yes, it brings to mind, given what we are discussing here. There was one point in our history, a politician did say you can't eat culture, right? Why should Vincentians, with everything else that's going on around them, COVID-19 and its attendant crises, you know, the aftermath of the volcanic eruptions just passed this year, and everything else. Why should Vincentians pay attention to you know, the sale of Baliso, which never one way or the other impacted on their, you know, economic standing?
I would not say that it didn't impact our economic standing, because there are members of the Garifuna community who would go back to St. Vincent mainland and then travel to Baliso each year to perform their rituals and rites. And of course, our country would have been getting monies from these flights, and whether they stay at hotels or guest houses, etc. And yes, you can't eat culture, but how are we going to move forward as a people if we don't know who we are and where we came from? And the sale of Baliso is basically inhibiting that from happening, because you have a piece of sacred land being sold for over $30 million. And speaking about allocating funds to certain projects, it would be unreasonable to expect us to pay $30 million for a land that is rightfully ours. But we have to
Is that
recognize
EC or US?
that's
Sorry for
US.
breaking your thought. Right,
That's
right.
US.
Continue.
We have to recognize that while you can't eat culture, you have to be aware of your identity. It is a form of enlightenment and awakening. And a lot of Caribbean anthropologists and philosophers have actually rang this home. And that's something that I feel Vincentians need to get behind, because for proper development of our country, especially development of coastal lands and lands that hotels are currently on, and lands that are historical heritage sites that are now being destroyed or don't get as much recognition as they need to get. That's something that we need to recognize, because when it really comes down to it, the preservation of our culture really comes back in the form of historical tourism. So you can't eat it, but it brings in revenue if we do it sustainably.
Do you think that the Garifuna community, and I say this tongue in cheek of sorts, because to me the fact is, pretty much all, if most, if not all, of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is Garifuna, right? But anyway, do you think that the Garifuna community, specifically those who have been outside of St. Vincent for a while, the diaspora, should be the ones leading this charge to particularly lay claim or reclaim ownership of the island?
I don't think that necessarily this is something where we can say one person is leading. This is a community effort. And when you look at it, it's really sad that you look at Garifuna communities across the globe and most of them still speak the language, practice the dances, practice the religion. Yet St. Vincent, which is the homeland of the Garifuna people, is basically empty when you compare it to a rich Garifuna culture in other places. So this isn't something that should be, only this section of Garifuna people should advocate for this. This is a unified movement that should be coming forward, not just those from the diaspora, not just those from the mainland, not just those from the Grenadines, but everyone as a collective.
And again, just to reiterate, if it is that as a people we were exposed from morning, as we just see, to these elements of our culture, preschool, kindergarten, come up. You are of the opinion now, seeing what you've seen, having become familiarized with all that you have, that would have been in such a better place to agitate on behalf of this ownership.
Yes, I agree. Because if we were made aware of our culture beforehand, the regain in Baliso would not have been a question. It would have been a when, a what time, who are we going to put in charge of this operation, what lawyers are we going to use, whether from mainland St. Vincent or within the diaspora or within the Grenadines. It wouldn't have been a question in anybody's mind whether or not Baliso is useful or the utility of Baliso in modern day society. It would have been an action plan straight off the bat. It probably would not have been sold in the first place.
Been put up for sale.
Yes.
We are getting to a wind up point. Before we do that, there's another commercial break we want to take. But permit me to ask: is there any particular action steps that you've identified as things? Let's say, based on what we're discussing here, for this episode, a handful of us decide to agitate on behalf of reclaiming ownership of this particular cultural icon. Are there particular action steps that you've identified?
I'm currently actually working on some research with one of my favorite lecturers here at UWK-Ville. Her name is Dr. Yanni Kuhn. She's the head of the Department of Cultural Studies here at UWK-Ville. She's also an anthropologist, and she's Jamaican. She's a religious practitioner. And we have given a presentation at the National Garifuna. We gave a presentation at the National Garifuna conference earlier this year on diasporic tourism and revitalizing Baliso. And our research is currently ongoing. At present, I am aware that the Garifuna Nation, we have a meeting this weekend with a group of lawyers to try and figure out how best to go forward, because this isn't a fight that we've been fighting for like the last few months. This is a fight that has been going on for years, with a number of petitions and action plans and advocating for different universities and outreach projects. It's something that is never ending. So currently, I would definitely say that the reclamation of Baliso would stem from an aspect of diasporic tourism and historical tourism. Now, I'm not saying this to grossly monetize our history, but as you see, there are a lot of museums and historical sites across Europe that has artifacts from the Caribbean and artifacts from Africa that are currently
Mhm.
monetizing our history. But our aspect of historical tourism would be from a sustainable standpoint and a reverence to the culture. And that's what we want to market Baliso as. It can be a historical site where individuals go back to pay respects to their ancestors because their bones are still there, artifacts are still there. And just like members from the diaspora who go every year to perform their ceremonies, that can become a reality for Vincentian people.
Awesome. Are you? I know you said the research, the work is ongoing. Uh, is it that again, if one or two persons who are with us or who would happen on to this particular episode wanted to take part, is there any sort of a contact information that you'd like to share? How do people reach out? That sort of thing.
Of course, anyone can contact me via my Facebook page, which is Ralycia Andrews at facebook.com, and I'll be happy to put you in contact with individuals from both the Garifuna Nation and other organizations who are fighting the same fight. In addition to different documents and letters that have been written from the Garifuna Nation on behalf of the Garifuna people, advocating for the preservation of not just Baliso, but our culture as a whole.
All right, and Ralycia Andrews is spelled as it's shown on screen.
Yes, please.
All right, guys, don't go anywhere. Let's go pay some more bills. When we come right back, we jump inside final thoughts from our guest, and we wrap things up for this week. Don't forget though, next week we have a nice little chat with Mr. Rodney Small inside your Situation Updates live chat series. In the meantime,
Diamond Grocery Inc., located at Ralycia and Diamond, are your friendly neighborhood groceries for one-stop shopping. We carry a wide range of food items such as meats, toiletries, personal care, and even products for your vehicle. And there is so much more that is certain to make the most picky shopper happy. Our bakery supplies a variety of delicious and hot breads and pastries. We provide spacious parking at our 2 locations to ensure a pleasant shopping experience. Our staff is courteous, friendly, and ready to serve you. Come to Diamond Grocery Inc., Ralycia and Diamond for excellent shopping with ambience designed for your satisfaction.
Hey, you know hear about the Joke and Festival trailer out by this old gas station? Yes, the same one on the way out to Indian Bay, man. They always have a whole set of pizzas every day, any day, including ackee and saltfish, vegetarian, and the world famous spicy jerk pizzas. But hey, that's not all, you know. They also offer jerk fish, escovitch fish, jerk chicken, and jerk pork. And as always, they serve it with real Jamaican festival. What you wait for? Call them now, no man. 784-495-4267. How you mean? Man, them always deliver anywhere between Kingston and Prospect. The Jerk and Festival trailer. An authentic yardie experience. Here I come.
of course, guys, I want to thank you so very much for hanging out with us for this episode of the Situation Updates live chat series. Hanging out with us this evening is Miss Ralycia Andrews, all the way from Baga. We are Barbados, Cave Hill, man. Hey, Ralycia, after your studies, what are your plans?
Well, my aspiration is to become a biological and cultural anthropologist. I actually have goals of attending Michigan State University because I've worked with them before and because they do offer Garifuna-centered studies, whether it be the language or the culture or the music or the history. And a number of faculty members have expressed that they would gladly accept Garifuna students who wish to learn more about the Garifuna culture. So that's my direct avenue right there.
Awesome. 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 And as it relates to our conversation tonight, your final thoughts?
I just want to thank you so much for having me and facilitating such an enlightening conversation on culture and heritage and sustainability. And I want to thank the viewers for tuning in, and I wish you all the best in the rest of your programs for the upcoming weeks. The viewers for tuning in.
I want to thank you so very much for taking the time out, for sharing with us. I know I, for one, have learned a bit, and I'm seeing some appreciation from my end. I'm seeing on the screen back here that you don't see, like when they thumbs up and that sort of thing, but you know, we've had some love shared since you've been on. So I want to thank the guys for hanging out. I know bag of people like for come and see bag of people and end up on the show, so you know, here's to wishing you all the best. Again, guys, if it is that you want to agitate, you've heard, you know, we've been talking a bit about the imminent sale of the Baliso Island. If it is that you want to get involved, you want to try and stop that sale, reach out to Ralycia on Facebook. Do we share your IG handle as well, or no?
No, Facebook is okay.
Facebook is okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and get involved, man. Until we talk again, Ralycia, and we will check in because you know, we gotta stay in touch with our people across the world.
Of course.
We have to keep that community alive, right?
Yes.
All right. So we see you guys next week. Remember, I'm just realizing that I'm off camera. Remember, guys, we'll be talking with Rodney Small, the steel pan boss, next Thursday at 9 o'clock St. Vincent time, right? So see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.